Guys, welcome back here to Kings of the Storm. I'm Solid Jake.
And I'm Kubi, and this is Kubi's kitty. Maybe. Look how happy she is. She's not happy.
You can follow her on Twitter.
She does have a Twitter. She needs to use it more. I gotta get on her about that. You should use your Twitter more. God. Hey, Jake, we have a lobby set up. You know what map it is? It's Sky Temple.
Temple in the Sky.
Who's playing?
Oh me, oh my. Barrel Boys and Temple Storm.
That's right.
Best of one series here.
The best of one. All right.
I believe I
Lobby
have
set
a
up.
Stormcraft link. I do.
God, these guys are so good today. Look at that. They're so quick. All right.
And we're going to get that going in just 1 second. Kubi, what do you expect to see here on the Temple Sky?
I don't think we're going to see Gazlo. As far as I know, Murlocs is the only team that runs that. That said, Hammer is a very likely possibility. Very even likely that this will be a ban.
I think so.
It could happen. If Tempo Storm is given the opportunity to take Hammer, they've looked very strong
Yeah.
on Hammer. And it's a good Hammer map. It wouldn't surprise me to see Barrel Boys ban out Hammer. Other good I mean, there's tons of good opportunities to ban heroes here. You could try to go for the double support ban, or each team is forced to ban out. We haven't actually seen that today, have we?
No, we have not seen the double
No, we
support
haven't seen
ban.
the double
Not
support
once,
ban.
because I think teams are starting to play around with stuff like Malfury and Brightwing.
Yeah.
They're just like, look, we don't need Rhaegar or Uther. We can do it
Okay.
without it.
Illidan ban. Illidan ban.
And the draft is actually, underway here
It
with
is.
Illidan as the first band coming out of Barrel Boys.
On Sky Temple.
Well,
There's a lot that
there's
it
there's-
depends on what kind of composition Tempo Storm wants to craft here. With their Stormcraft being their drafting tool. Ah, get it? Ah.
Ha 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 ha
All right, whatever. Jokes
ha.
are lost. Tough crowd, guys. I mean, like ETC is a possibility. It seems as though that's a common ban. I don't know why they banned it out, but oh yeah, I was right. Hammer banned.
Hamma, Slamma,
Hammer Slamma Bama banned.
Rhaegar first pick. Do we see Uther, or does Tempo Storm be very stubborn with their picks on Malfurion?
Uther Sonya coming up.
Sonio, so good.
It's such a powerful combo. It did so much work in that last series.
Well, Tempo Storm has the pick. Nazebo, a very formidable hero.
They do like to grab Nazebo very early. KO is a beast on Nazebo.
But you know what else is a beast? The man with the moo.
E.T.C.
Rock Chieftain.
Rock Chieftain?
I don't know this time.
Oh, Jake
because-
didn't study his hero titles. Come on, man.
Well, ETC is the name of the band in the real world.
In the real world.
Yeah, no, seriously. It's,
Oh, I know.
It's it's
just funny the way you
Morheim
word it.
and Friends.
It is Warheim and friends.
Elitoran Chieftain.
Yep, it's true. All right,
course.
Malfurion is the first pick for Tempo Storm. Really liking that Malfurion. They just, every time, even if there's an Uther available to be grabbed, I don't know if it's that Dread doesn't feel good, but I've seen him play Uther to pretty good efficiency
Yes.
before.
His Uther is
He's very
definitely-
capable of playing.
And it's
Uther.
been Arth playing a lot of Malf too.
That's when
so-
the double support is available. You're right,
Yeah.
and that may point towards a Brightwing pickup later as well.
It's just interesting to pick up Malf before Uther because Uther Rhaegar is pretty okay.
Uther Rhaegar is pretty okay. You're right. You're right about that. Those are the two probably hands down best supports. Jake's about to hit me in the face with his... I'm sure that sound... Oh, he muted it. I was like, why does that not sound awful?
I had to
He's like
untangle my
uncoiling his headset.
And
There's the Nazebo.
so crafty. Now
Mm-hmm.
the Nazebo, the man with the spiders, the frog spider life. You could say he grew up in a swamp.
Nope. Can't say that.
Okay.
Did not grow up in the swamp.
Okay.
He's a Nephilim. No swamps. Grew up in Nephilim Town.
You tell me there's no swamps
In Nephilim Town? No.
anywhere in the sanctuary.
Mm-mm. No.
Isn't like the first level swampy?
He didn't grow
in
up
D3?
there.
How do you know?
What do you mean, how do I know? He ventures there. He would have been like, oh, my hometown. Hey. Oh, my hometown.
no. Home.
Oh,
That's what he
I see what you did there.
Gosh.
Okay, all right. I'll allow it. God, that's such a stretch. Such a stretch.
All right, the Utho Rhaegar is going to be real and picking up ETC. This is a very strong lineup for Barrel Boys. So much power and utility that ETC is going to be near impossible to kill, and it's going to be incredibly powerful at just bullying. Now, the fact that Nazeeba was picked up and the fact that Hammer is not available because she was banned out is like a nice small win, because either of those heroes with this current lineup of Barrel Boys is going to be terrifying. But what else can they get that has that kind of range and power? Asmodan? Don't like him on Sky Temple, though.
Ooh, this is looking very similar to the draft that Cloud9 Maelstrom just got. ETC, Rhaegar, Uther. They had Vala was stolen away, but I don't see why they wouldn't take Sonya.
Oh.
Sonya into. I mean, they already have double support, so they just need more damage, really. If they want, they could go Sonya, but
I hope Temple Storm doesn't pick Brightwing last, though. I really hope. And if they do, I think they have to go Blink Kill. Emerald Wind didn't do what it needed to do in that last game. It didn't cost them the game by any means. It's just I didn't like the call. It didn't like. They did some cute things, but it was always a disengage. It never really had the kind of impact that you can have by being able to sustain through a fight with Blink Kill and ultimately winning the fight.
that's a good point. But they're up against double support, which means they either need to out-sustain them or they need to really go heavy on the burst.
Brightwing can work. I just don't
Sonya.
want to see Emerald win.
There's more damage.
And Tassadar still on the table, and I think Tassadar can work out a little bit better. You have the Archon.
I will make a bold statement. If they pick Tassadar, I don't think they're going to win.
And why?
It's too much of like a middle of the road composition for Tempo Storm.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Facing a very like almost a burst heavy plus ridiculous amount of heals.
And they kind of do need something like Poly. They need the stun. They need that interrupt. When that Nazeebo, when that Sonya leaps in.
So they need to go for one side or the other. They either need to go for a super heavy disengage that can out-sustain Barrel Boys, or they need to go for heavy aggression. And since Tassadar is such a middle-of-the-road hero,
So
with already a very middle-of-the-road composition, they're just going to lose because...
what do you think about Zeratul? VP to disengage, and then
yeah, that's
lots
fine.
of power.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I just think Tassadar just gives you more damage. It's not something that provides any extra utility. I would be
It's just
very against them going Tassadar.
the shielding and healing is nice, but yeah, you're right. There's no kind of stun. There's no kind of interrupt available.
Sagara, maybe.
I wonder if we're going to see Clairvoyance Farsight again, because that was really interesting.
Yeah, it's always hard for us to say how much utility they get out of it. We can see where they throw the Farsight and Clairvoyance is down, but like what do they take from that? That's always up to what they hear in the comms, right? So.
Well, just 10 seconds remain in the bonus pool, and it's going to be Zeratul.
Okay, I'm very much okay with that. I think Tassadar, like I said, even just another damage pickup would have been a bad idea. So Zeratul is damage, of course, but he provides that massive amount of utility with the Void Prison.
And we didn't even mention, really, just the first game of Tychus today. He's seen
That's
a
true.
lot less play. This is the first time we're going to see him the entire day. There's a few things that you could see. I've actually seen a few games where quarterback was picked up, believe it or not. And quarterback can just be used to interrupt that Ravenous if that's what you really want to go for.
Can you go back to the camera? And can you do that quarterback motion again? No, that's not at all what you just did. That is not at all what you just did. What did you do? That was pretty close. You were just like, he's got that quarterback. That is the worst grenade throw of all time. You would not do well in the military. Like, what? I could just picture a drill sergeant standing next to me, like, what was that?
This is why I
And
play
then just
video
like,
games, Scooby.
Go home.
This is why I
home.
play video games, Scooby.
Because you can't throw grenades. All right, Jake, if you want to let them know, we're good to go. Oh, my goodness. Just so upset.
Oh, I actually just turned Scooby's monitor off.
That's actually impressive.
okay.
Reminds me of that clip from Parks and Rec.
I never watched it.
I haven't seen all of it either. But he throws a briefcase across the room and destroys a light set with it. And he was just like supposed to toss it away. He like threw it like 20 feet across the room and hit a light switch. I was like, that is impressive.
I think of
kind of
that,
like what you just did.
I
there.
think of that the little toy rocket, that GIF where the guy jumps on it, like North Korea's missile program they call it.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Oh, it's so funny.
Is
It's
it-
a little
I'll
toy
see.
rocket, and some guy jumps on it, and they all start clapping. it goes
Sounds
like
funny.
it goes like half a foot up. It goes like 6 inches up in the air. You think it's gonna go flying up,
Yeah.
but
That's funny.
It's very amusing. Very amusing. I know Reddit things, TV things, not so much.
Not so much. I see.
Regis Filbert.
Regis Filbert on Who Wants to Be a Thousandaire, or whatever.
Who wants to be a thousandaire?
Not even a thing.
Tempo Storm versus Barrel Boys.
Barrel Boys, buying the
Boys.
best barrels.
Best of one series here in the loser finals of Kings of the Storm weekly number 11. The winner will advance to face Cloud9 Maelstrom. Bakubi.
Grand finals, yes.
Let's introduce our blue team.
Let's do that. Yeah, on the blue side, for Tempo Storm, we have Soldier on Stitches. Dreadnought's going to be playing Malfurion. Glaurung on Zeratul, his homeboy. Arthlon on Vala, and KO once again will be on Nazebo.
Yep, he's riding a Wolfie. The synergy isn't really there. That he better not stab that wolf. That'd be really sad.
Or his own leg.
He's got to be careful with that.
God, man, just waving that around. God, careful with that thing.
On the other half of the map, we do have the Barrel Boys with Blinks playing as the Medic Uther. It's going to be McIntyre playing on the Master Skin Sonya. Look at the synergy with that
Okay,
chin.
do you see where she's holding her sword? It's way
Way
behind
out,
her.
way
Way
out.
behind her.
She's
She
a
respects
warrior.
the blade. You
That's-
have to respect the blade.
That's a way more manly blade, though. You got to be a lot more careful with a blade like that. And then it's going to be Curse Fury on ETC. Tychus played by Trommel and Rhaegar played by Cthon Luck. The newest addition here to the team, replacing Fan.
This is true. As Fan did go to Cloud9 Vortex, you see a little bit of pressure here in the mid lane. Who do they throw in bottom? Vala and Rhaegar, not the most mobile heroes, but I guess there weren't really any better options. Of course, when I say mobility is important, it's because we know that the first two temples spawning at 1:30 will be the top temple and the middle temple. So you want to try to throw someone who's mobile in bottom that can get up to the middle to help capture those temples quickly.
Kubi, this might be the first time we've seen Glaurung playing on Zeratul in this match.
In a long time, right? That's what I was saying. That's his boy. Like, he made a name for himself playing Zeratul.
He did.
And
Stitches.
Stitches was probably his first big.
He does, of course, have a ridiculously large hero pool, and we do have a ridiculously amount of aggression coming out of Barrel
look at
Boys.
this.
With KO getting knocked back, the McIntyre Fury combo.
Oh, that's gonna be it?
blow him up. First blood, only 1 minute, 20 seconds into the game. The hook goes out, gonna miss. And even with that first blood, experience is still pretty darn even because of the soak differential.
This is true. And we do have those temples popping in mid and top. We'll have to see what each team does to contest these.
Look at this, Glaurung just cheekily hanging out as a little ghost, little invisi mode, getting a few shots off. Spider's out to scout, the scouting spider squad looking for a snack. And a big dive forward, Soldier gonna get completely zoned and blown up here. He's gonna get his self-heal off, and Glaurung here to peel, actually staying alive. No one has fallen yet. Very strong amount of aggression for both teams.
Still, though, the temple does belong to Barrel Boys. No, it's actually gone back to neutral, and Temple Stormer shoved them off.
Back and forth. This is a seesaw of a temple. The hook goes out onto McIntyre, but Glaurung is going to be the target to be blown up. The stun coming up from Uther, very nicely done.
Yes, the knockback power slide into Hammer of Justice was enough to keep Glaurung in position until before he was able to blink out. This is going to give this middle temple uncontested, well, absolutely contested, but from this point forward, uncontested. Two Barrel Boys, and are they going to rotate top? Now, of course, top has not been capped since we had that giant team fight happening. We may see Barrel Boys, yeah, that appears to be what they're doing, just rotating up.
Oh,
Glaurung
Glaurung
more pressure.
almost gets caught by the Ancient Spear, and the Ancient Spear follow-up with the stun from Uther could have been devastating for him since Uther and HC were there. So very nicely done, just getting out of the range there, and
yeah, look at this. Barrel Boys is also soaking bottom with Cthon Luck, Rhaegar in the bottom lane. They're also, if they capture this temple, including the bottom soak, that will put them at a very huge level advantage. But Curse Fury, as is, everyone is so low on Barrel Boys right now, and he does get hooked back in. But if the fact that they only had one loss in that situation, kind of impressive.
yeah, it is impressive. And like you mentioned, the soak of the Rhaegar is a big part of this. Level 6 picked up for both teams. Very close in this race, but Temple Storm is going to end up getting the final charges onto this top four.
Right, because they had applied a bit of previous damage to that tower, they were able to take both towers out in the top lane. And one tower out in the mid. Temple Storm recaptures the watchtower between the mid and top lane. What's next? We're looking at another 2-minute wait until the next temple appears, which is going to be the bottom temple. That'll be about 5:30 or so, in which that will become active. Yeah, it's okay. I like what Temple Storm's doing here. They realize, okay, this is about the time when teams back up. They take some mercenary camps in between these two temples appearing. They know that they're very likely to be moving forward to take their own giants. We saw Soldier moving forward. He's warrior on the team, you can afford to lose a bit of life. Sort of face checking the fact that they're going for. And we see it.
Just
quick disconnect.
slight hiccup.
Slight hiccup. Back, though. That's good.
Now, while Sponge Sports commences, we can talk about the talents a little bit as we see the Malfurion going just full on heal style. Going to be one mule in this game picked up by Nazeebo. Typically, we might see Goodman sacrifice. It's actually the only hero that we frequently see mule picked on in the current state of the meta. Arthalon, though, a little bit out of position, gonna just sit in the bush, mount up, and he is not gonna be able to get out of this, so that he's gonna be found out of position. His body just goes tumbling into that tent. Rest in peace, my friend. That was quite the ragdoll.
I like that. He tumbled. Didn't even know he made the awful pun. Didn't even know.
I don't have these powers. Well, Soldier going to take a lot of damage to the aggression out of this try-push in the bottom with the Giants. Across the map, though, we see the Nazeebo. Zeratul trying to pick up the Bruiser camp with the help of Vala, and they will be doing that very quickly.
Yes. Still, the Giants are pressing down the bottom lane, and those bottom temples should appear in about 20 seconds or so.
Yep. Oh.
Barrel Boys have sort of carved themselves out a nice spot in this bottom lane, and I imagine we can see that the rest of the heroes are rotating down with the exception of ETC. Perhaps he's planning on getting that soak before level 10 and then stage diving down.
It has to be. It has to be.
Still, though, the timing might be a little bit off for this. We can see that they're not jumping in. For that reason, probably.
No? Okay, Dread needs to turn around. He needs to turn around immediately. He's already overstayed his welcome. Blinks gets that stun, and Dread will... Yes, he's going to die to the grenade.
Wow.
So that's going to be a pickup. He actually started for a little bit there. I'm not too sure why he didn't turn around immediately. It looked like he was trying to continue going down. So, bit of a misplay. Not sure if he was looking at his hero at that exact moment. And the stage dive did happen, so level 10 picked up for both teams, but ETC has made his way down into the bottom, and he is currently sitting on that temple.
The stage dive is a little odd. You would think he would stage dive into the fight that's already happening. Probably, he could have applied a bit more damage in slow to the rest of the team to control the situation. That said, they still have a firm spot in this bottom temple, and Trummel has activated Odin. They're looking for a fight here. They want to apply a lot of damage, and the chain stun onto Soldier. He does get caught into the VP. It hits a lot of people, but what's the follow-up?
Where's Trank? Okay, he gets knocked out of the way by ETC before the Trank can get a lot of force done. McIntyre is very low. He stuns 3 people with the leap, but it's not going to be enough. Malfurion here just in time. The hook is real onto Fury and the Putrid Bile to make sure they get that kill. Nice turnaround by Temple Storm.
Okay.
They are going to be able to pick up the boss.
That was convincing. Not how I expected the end of that fight to go, considering the amount of HP that Soldier had going into that VP.
I mean, the VP not only stalled them, but saved Stitches, who was so very low. Yeah. Just enough time for Malf to be able to save with that Tranquility.
This boss that they've picked up, it is quite early in the game, will not get any further than this bottom fort. Probably will be able to take it out, especially when you consider that Barrel Boys is currently occupied taking the Bruiser camp in the upper right side of the map. They will rotate down to clean up this boss at the cost of Temple Storm applying quite a bit more map pressure. Now you can see them already rotating to the top lane. Might try to put enough pressure, at least clean up this mercenary camp, maybe even attempt to take this fort out.
Well, the soak life is real. Sponge Sports commencing with this boss in the bottom lane. Gonna try to take out this fort. Oh, yeah, he's got it. He's got it. We believed. Sand Sports, though,
Slaps champion 2015.
I need to stop adding sports to everything.
Goes to the Golem.
Yeah, you're right.
Slaps champion.
Abathur or Golem?
Who's the better slap?
Who's the better slapper? You guys let us know.
How can Golem slap? No, that's another reference. Never mind. Lost upon Jake. Told me he had internet references. He does not. Sorry, guys. I don't know what to tell
I
you.
assume this is a Legend of the Hidden Temple reference. That's the only thing
Not
that makes
even
sense.
close.
Olmec.
Good try, though.
All right,
VP.
There is a big stage dive, but like you mentioned, this VP is going to the Mount Putrid Bile and a random advantage to use, and wow, that Ravenous Spirit stopped instantly.
He leaped before the VP went down. The VP caught him, and I don't know if anyone on Temple Storm recognized the situation, but he was like, okay, this was a good leap, and it happened so fast. So I think it's got to be like an unfortunate thing that happened to Sonya, but since the leap had started, I mean, obviously three seconds pass before the leap is able to finish because the Void Prison elapses, and then now he's leaping into 1-0, and also on the backside of the enemy team where he has no support. so he got melted immediately.
I mean, when you're wearing those Nike Air shoes and you just
Sometimes
bounce,
you have no control over
right?
how high
You
you can
just
jump.
go flying.
You have no control. You just channel the Michael Jordan, and it is gone.
You just channel the Michael Jordan. Well, KO needs that Michael Jordan life because he is gonna get blown up. Soldier also in a bad spot. Not even Larry Bird could save him here. He's getting removed from the fight. His body will be donated to the Nexus as he sparkles away. And the aggression coming here out of the Barrel Boys, pushing this bottom lane out and sitting on this bottom temple. Top temple was picked up by Tempo Storm during all this chaos.
And we see, yes, the ETC holding this bottom temple. It's going to apply quite a bit of pressure to this mid lane, probably will kill it. And we do have aggression going onto the bottom wall. All these small amounts of pressure that they put on, they're not going to kill this keep, even though, I mean, they just have the one giant pushing forward. But these are tower shots that are potential in the future, right? So the more structures they kill here, the faster they can end the game by holding control of these.
An interesting VP, and here's the stage dive to peel for his team. The Odin in the back line is likely going to go to waste, so they're trading multiple heroics each team here, but I don't know if we'll see a kill unless we have a big hook like that. The Roots just barely not catching, but they do catch Cthon Luck, but Glaurung needs to be able to blink out of this. I don't think he has blink available, and he is going to fall. McIntyre going down, ETC going down. That Ravenous did too much work.
No answer for it. There was no answer for the Ravenous Spirit. It was hitting 2 people for the entire duration of Ravenous. You almost never get a Ravenous Spirit that is that efficient, and that is a 5-for-1. Tempo Storm can do what they want right now.
Yeah, they can play in the sand.
There's a lot of sand to play with.
They could sponge sports.
I was thinking at first, okay, go for the keep, but since their HP is so low, especially on Dreadnought, they don't have enough sustain to quite get that. Yeah, this is the best that they can hope for is taking these forts that are, well, the 1/4 that was available, take the offensive mercenary camps, and they find themselves in a very sizable experience lead. They were already ahead before that fight started. Now they are a talent tier ahead in 2 levels.
Yeah, we're going to see the double bomb picked up.
Yeah.
We got the pulverize out of Stitches.
With no extra slam increase, or increase of the range, no mega slam.
Still.
Blood for blood on Vala and specialized toxin, of course. Malfurion has not decided yet. It's going to be either between Tenacious Roots or Hardened Focus. Still probably thinking over a situation.
The Roots is probably the more likely, and yeah, they're going to go with the Roots. Okay. So no surprise there. Picking up some bruisers, picking up some giants, and then some more bruisers that time on the side of Barrel Boys. This game is still very much...
Yes. I was going to say, just before that team fight happened, I'm not really sure who's in the league. Barrel Boys was quite a bit ahead structure-wise, but they were slightly behind in level. Now things have shifted to be completely in Tempo Storm's favor. So
it only takes one team fight to change the game at this point, though.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, what do they need to do? Oh, wait. They have Sonya Uther. They just need to find themselves a favorable team fight. I know that these guys are very capable of landing a devastating combo, which can really turn things around.
And they've hit 16 just in time for this bottom temple that is about to spawn. Yeah, you said it. Triple Stone Skin, that's giving a ton of survivability. We're actually seeing Lightning Bond picked up here by Rhaegar, and the single imposing presence coming out of Uther.
All right, another temple has spawned, only in the bottom this time. This is going to be a precarious location for Barrel Boys to dive into.
Oh my goodness, the stage dive into BP. Working against this Ravenous will get interrupted by ETC. Nicely done there, but the Putrid Violets are doing so much zoning. Fury, completely separated from his team, will end up falling.
Yeah, he already used stage dive, of course, to get into the situation that he was in. Good that he was able to cancel out the Ravenous Spirit, because that's what created the massive disaster in the last game fight. But we have McIntyre going in, focusing in on Arthlon, and now Glaurung is going to find himself in a tricky situation. The Ancestral Healing go down onto Cthon Luck to get himself out of that corner that Soldier had backed him into. Odin is doing a ton of work, that extra range, providing him quite a bit more DPS, and we find ourselves with a 2-for-3 in favor of Barrel Boys.
Soldier did something really cool, and he hooked in a Rhaegar and brought him into a place where he couldn't do anything. It didn't matter because he had an Ancestral, so Soldier was spending all of his time body blocking this hero that actually, if he was peeling for his team, it could have went a lot better for Tempo Storm.
Right, that's a very good point. This bottom temple that's being captured here is going to provide enough damage to take this top fort. Will that even the experience? Possibly. It's only a fort though, so I think they'll still be a little bit behind. And there is the mercenary camp, of course, pushing on the top lane, which will seem to have done a considerable amount of damage to that top wall for the keep. No, it didn't kill a... Oh, and they have the mule too.
Yeah,
That's kind of
actually,
rough. That's kind of rough
a
for
big
Barrel
deal.
Boys. It is.
Well, just looking at the structures around the map here, and honestly, both teams are in a pretty decent standing. The game is dead even, both level 18 to level 18. The Clairvoyance going down on the boss. The zombie wall. I keep trying to show you guys these gesture zombies, but they keep hiding the second I go to look at them. And yeah, I mean, it's just both teams respecting each other.
Party Bush? No. I was trying to figure out what it was that they were all rotating up to the midsection for.
Temples will be spawning pretty soon, and at that point we should see the rotation using that multi-shot to scope out the boss, make sure it's not being taken. They're going to pick up their giants, but they're going to get collapsed on very quickly.
I think they're aware that this is the situation. McIntyre hooks in the leap into...
Yeah, Divine Storm, Heroic Leap, and Stage Dive. Glaurung throws out the VP just before he dies. That Ravenous Spirit is just going to town, going to market. The Roots hitting 3 members, and the Ravenous just sitting on top of them, doing so much damage. Cathanlok able to stay alive with the Uther Ghost in his personal heals. Fury, oh, he's going to end up falling to the blink forward out of Zeratul. They're going to take the boss 3-0 in that fight.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm agreeing with the stage dive being used to initiate the team fights. Yeah, you get a good chunk of a little bit of damage, a little bit of slow, but he really needs it to get into the backline to deal with the Ravenous Spirit. It's the 2 team fights that have gone hands down in favor of Temple Storms because they didn't deal with Ravenous Spirit.
Right, and that Void Prison, can we just talk about that for a second?
They've been very much on point.
Glaurung
this is why
had,
Glaurung is known for very good Zeratul play. His Void Prisons are always on point, and they've done so much work this game.
Like, he had, I think, maybe 5% health left. The VP hit, and then the Enduring Growth, the Tenacious Roots, the extra size of those roots underneath the VP when they come out, the Ravenous Spirit just had a field day. So, whew, that's scary, and well played. Double Temples being picked up here by Temple Storm right now. You can see they are just being completely sieged upon by these Temples.
Yeah, they've already done some structure damage to this top keep, or at least the structures surrounding it. This is a rough position for Barrel Boys. We need to see them really... Oh, gosh, it's tough because of that Void Prison. It's as soon as they jump in, Void Prison goes down onto the 2 members that are trying to capitalize and kill, and it interrupts the rest of the flow from the rest of the team, and they're just not able to finish up.
Yeah, well, right now Barrel Boys is just trying to play that Soak Life, where they're trying to hit level 20. We do have level 20 on the side of Temple Storm, where the Hardened Shield double bolted the Storm, rewind on the Zeratul, so that's a quadruple bombs, and the Annihilating Spirit.
I thought he was going to use it there just to get the kill onto the keep. I think he decides, hey, you know what? They don't actually have a mule on their side, so no need for me to blow that 60-second cooldown.
Right.
Just to get...
Just poke safely.
Something that's already going to fall to a slam.
Yeah, one slam will do it. He could have actually thrown his hook out at it and go clunk.
We did see that once. That was so
I
hype.
I was so happy.
I think it was Soldier that did it too. Yeah, I mean, Temple Storm has themselves a very aggressive position. They're ahead 2 levels, or a level and a half at this stage in the game, being, of course, level 20 up. They have the Hardened Shield. I think you already mentioned all these before. They have a huge position.
Right.
They're able to take these aggressive camps. That's really the point that I'm trying to make. And if they want to rotate down to take the Giants, they're free to do that as well. Barrel Boys is sort of backed against the wall. They have to defend.
Yeah, ATC off in his own right now, but of course Stage Dive, that global presence, not an issue there, and the rest of the team is just trying to keep these lanes defended. They have these catapults, they have these mercs, they need to soak and hit 20, and that's exactly what they're doing. The temples have to be very soon.
Of course, those giant camps were grabbed, and they're rotating back to take their own. That's going to be a 4 giant push in the bottom, but you can see how much presence Tempo Storm has. They take a camp, and as soon as Barrel Boys has finished cleaning up the camp that was taken on the top side, they have to rotate down to take the next one.
Yeah.
And it just stalls out the amount of time that Temple Storm is in the lead, and before you know it, temples have respawned. And these temples, if Temple Storm captures both of them, that's game over.
It's game over, but just in time for the temples, we do see those level 20 talents. So Divine Hurricane, we do have the big red button, Storm Shield,
Hardened Shield, of course, for Sonya, so that when she does leap in, she has that damage reduction.
and Cow Blink. Oh, no! Okay, the follow-up wasn't there. This is a bit of a weird stage dive. Not going to be impactful, and it's just
get there. I understand that.
it's a heroic that has been used, and the VP setup is here. The Ravenous in position. Immediately, ETC is going to be blinking for it, and the heroic leap is used as well. KO trying to dash out, but the Divine Storm is going to keep him locked down, and the healing is not going to be enough to sustain him. That's the first kill. The Storm Shield coming out of Rhaegar, but right now, Tranquility has done a good job keeping them alive, but it has dissipated. Soldier getting very low, getting separated from his team, and he's going to end up falling. 2 for nothing. Barrel Boys is taking this game back.
That's exactly what they needed to do to clean up those teamfights. We had talked again and again about how important the Ravenous Spirit was in those previous teamfights. We questioned the stage dive in, forgot about the fact that he has Blink, Bolt of the Storm. So as soon as the VP was up, bolts over to the other side, interrupts the Ravenous Spirit. You have the Hardened Shield on Sonya, so she doesn't die as fast. She's able to put out a ton of damage with the bonus onto the slam talent that she gets at level 4. Sort of back to old Sonya days, just eliminating people if she's just allowed to stay alive for a little bit. We see them pick up that 2 for 1 overall. They do have a lot of mercenary camp, or camp pressure in general, onto the core, of course.
Yeah, their core's taking damage. I mean, it's at 83%.
Right.
Tychus did end up hearthing back for that, and they're going to sit on this. The Root's going down onto McIntyre, and oh, yep, he is going to be picked up, and he's going to take some damage from the Temple Guard. What are those guys called? Defender. Defender. Reign of Vengeance, but heroic leap follow-up. The
big.
shield's coming out onto McIntyre, but the Singularity Spike almost picking up the kill. And yes, the Blink Forward gonna secure that kill. Arthlon being healed up, and Cathal Mox gonna fall as well. An overextension here, and this is gonna be, well, this bottom keep is almost dead, and they're gonna sustain a lot of damage to the core from this.
This is actually game over.
You think so?
That
Yeah?
is, yes.
Oh my
Hands
goodness.
down. This structure, that's why you don't see them really doing much. There's nothing you can do to defend it at this point. The rest of the shots on this temple will be enough to take out the core. And that is going to be Temple Storm advancing over Barrel Boys in this losers finals. They will head back to face against Cloud9 Maelstrom in the grand finals for their revenge.
Revenge
Close
match.
game, though. I liked what happened. They were able to get another situation. Post-level 20 fight, they have the tools to do it, and we saw it in that over that fight for the last temple. If they had continued to, it was unfortunate they overextended there. If they were able to stay alive long enough to force another fight, maybe we would see a different ending to that game. I mean, we definitely would. But they were showing that they had the power to win the team fights past that point. Until then, Ravenous Spirit and Void Prison, apparently it's a pretty good combo.
It's relatively okay. It just kind of ruins kids,
Yeah.
You throw the Roots in there too, and it's just like,
I mean,
ooh.
they're choosing to use it after Leap has been
It's
already.
smart. It's smart. And
Say, well, you have a dive team. Go ahead, dive in, and we'll take care of it.
but
And then have a wombo combo ourselves.
I mean, what did we say when the tournament started today? The top 3 is between Barrel Boys, Maelstrom, and Temple Storm. Guess what top 3 is here today?
That's a good point.
Barrel Boys, Maelstrom, and Temple Storm. Barrel Boys putting up an amazing, game versus Temple Storm there. Best of 1 series. I almost wish it was a best of 3 because that was so close. I really think they could have taken a game off Temple Storm easily.
And they have in the past. They've shown that they're very much
Yes.
capable of taking games to Temple Storm. That's not the case today, though.
Nope.
Temple Storm will be advancing to the grand finals. We're going to get that game set up for you guys, so hang around. We'll be back in just about 5 minutes.